All right. Good evening, everybody. This is Jason. I got Nikki with me today.
Hey,
I
everybody.
hope everybody's having a good day. And Nikki's got something she wants to show us tonight. And I figured we'd get on and do a live together and kind of see what it is and go over any questions or answers that you might have. If you guys have any questions or anything throughout the chat or throughout the live, feel free to post in the comment section of the platform that you're viewing from, and we'll be happy to get to those as soon as possible. We should have a couple other guests popping in here in a little bit once they get settled in. But if not, we're going to take up a little bit of your time and help out if we can and go from there. So, welcome, Nikki. Thanks for joining us again.
Hey, no problem. So I'm super excited about this because it's like, who was it that said the other day that it was like, oh, I think it was Mike Loss. He was like, it's early Christmas.
Yeah.
So it is today, and I'm super excited. So I actually received the new Talon Pro today. So I thought that it would be nice if we unboxed and, kind of chit chatted about it a little bit. Like you said, answered questions and anything that people might have, what the differences are in it and the regular Talon,
Yep.
and anything like that. So that's what we're here for.
Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, you've
So
been you've been you've been waiting for that all evening, haven't you?
I have. So, I think I told you earlier I had to pick up kids. I had to go to gymnastics, which, by the way, I drove all the way to gymnastics with my little girls to find out they were closed today.
Oh no.
So that was about, an hour and a half waste of my time.
Oh
Um,
jeez.
so, hey,
That's
Shirley, how are you?
that's the one thing I hate about intramural sports or things like that because a lot of times they don't talk to each other. Hey Shirley. Um, yeah, they don't talk to people. Like I know with ours, sometimes like we don't know until like when it's supposed to start, or if we show up to drop them off or whatever,
Exactly.
and either no one's there or someone's there. Oh, we're not doing it today. The weather's bad, or coach is sick, or whatever. It's like we have chats. They have chats set up for stuff
Yes.
like that. Why don't we use it? But I don't know. So
I'll tell you the craziest part is my sister in law takes her little girls there, and she knew they were closed and didn't bother to call and tell me.
uh, that's even worse. They set you
So,
up for failure.
yes, exactly. So, how many
But
people we got in here now, Jason?
I only see two are showing up on. Let me see. Uh, YouTube, we got three watching. I think Facebook, we got a few. I
Okay.
don't know. Since I'm streaming to so many different places, it just gives me
I just want
one
to make
number.
sure that, before I start this,
Yeah,
as
we can
many
hold
people.
off and just BS a little bit.
Yeah.
So I know you've been talking to Pascal, and you're working with him and all. Are you planning on getting any of his new lasers, like the CO2, or I know you're interested in the, the 60-watt Galvo. Um, have you guys
Yeah,
got
so
anything
my
figured out with that?
intentions are definitely, I'm going to get a bigger gantry CO2 as well. Right now, actually, things are kind of panning out for me. And I'm fixing to look into purchasing a much bigger shop.
Nice.
um, so once I get the bigger shop, of course, I'm going to have to, go in and determine how I'm going to lay it out and put my cabinets and shelving and things in. But so I'm hoping by March time frame is my goal,
Now,
to have it.
Are you just getting a bigger building like what you have, or are you actually building a like legit
It's
shop?
it's it's going to. It's not going to be one of the metal buildings like this,
Yeah.
but it's going to be one of those portable buildings like the wood ones.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yep. The ones you get
because
that are pre-made and everything, they just deliver
yes,
it.
so
Yeah.
I don't intend on living here forever. Um, and so I want it to be able to be moved.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing because otherwise I'd probably put something on a concrete slab. But I don't want to stay here forever. This is not my forever home.
Yeah. That's good. At least you're thinking you can take it with you. when you do leave.
Know that I'll be able to afford another one in the future. So while I have it, I want to be able to make sure I can take it with me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know what they run up there. I mean, they're fairly inexpensive here. I think like four to $6,000. I think for about a 12. Like mine's a 12 by 24, and I think it was 3,800.
Yeah.
Um,
So the ones I'm looking at will be like I'm looking at maybe like either 12 by 40 or maybe even a 2-story.
a 2-story shed.
Yes, because I could store my materials upstairs.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yes, they. And what I was looking, it's about 14,000 is what I'm looking at for what the floor plan I've been looking at.
Yeah.
So
Is that like a straight storage building, or is it got like that little front porch kind of set up on the front?
It's more like the cottage setup.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
So, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. It's more of a. It's not really more. It's more of like a tiny home, I guess, is what you would call it.
Yeah. So it's got the little front porch, kind of set up, front door, all that stuff. Yeah.
And then we'll have I'm going to have them install a huge double door in the back. That way, when I move my lasers or in and out or whatever, I have that extra space.
Yeah, putting them through a 30-inch door or 36-inch door wouldn't be any fun.
No, I was thankful even with this little shop I'm in, the door, it's got one of those huge doors in it. So I didn't even, when I moved my Mirror 9 in, I didn't even have to take it apart. And like, we literally put it on one of those industrial, like, yard wagons. We picked it up off and set it on the yard wagon and rolled the whole wagon up into the shop. And then, Eon didn't have my stand ready when my Mirror 9 was ready. So they had sent me some industrial sawhorses to set the thing on until I got my stand. And so it sat on sawhorses for about 6 months, running like crazy. And it was actually very sturdy. I was terrified.
So the Mirror 9s, they don't have a cabinet?
They do. They have a stand, but they got a new stand now. But the stand I got, it has a cabinet, but it was on back order when my Mirror 9 got here. And instead of waiting on my laser for another however months, because I was in that first, some of them first ones that waited, 9-10 months on their laser.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Wi-Fi, Dan? I think I'm seeing that right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and which, and I'll tell anybody, like, I love my Mirror 9 and I'd wait for it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good laser. They're not bad machines. I had a Mirror 7. I had the Nova 10. And I mean, they're not bad machines. I mean, I landed on Thunder I think strictly just because of the fact that the build quality on them is more commercial. With moving stuff around a lot and working in really dusty, dirty environment, that was the best solution in my mind. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything bad about the Eons. I mean, it would be nice if they got their stuff together with the wiring.
Yeah. I did have the one of the only issues I had was a Molex connector on my X-axis motor. And it's a fairly common thing. It burn up. But I will say that with, they overnighted me the part. I got full instructions on how to repair it. I was back up and running in about 24 hours.
Yeah, that's good. So, but yeah, I don't know how much they change out their wiring, but I mean, when they're made in China, they're rated for 220, which you can't run standard 110 off a 220 line.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's why they're having issues, but yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if they got that sorted to where it wasn't such a common issue. But I mean, I never had that problem on my Mirror 7. Of course, I never really use it that much. But
I mean, I run mine daily. Like mine goes if I'm at home and not at work, it's and even on the weekends, it runs about 8 to 10 hours a day straight.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's like anything else. I mean, you you could get a Thunder, you could get a Boss, you could get whatever. I mean, sometimes you're just gonna get a bad egg. I mean, that's just the way it is. Not necessarily a knock against the companies, but it happens.
I mean, it's technology. It's with anything,
Yeah.
I mean, and the same thing.
They're going clear across the ocean, one, and I know with Eon they tear them apart and do a bunch of stuff. But I mean, just making it across the pond and still being able to work properly, or at least manageably, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, they come over on containers. That's probably the safer way to do it, but still, I mean, that's a lot of people handling it, and a lot of motion and moving parts and pieces. So
yeah, because you got to think loading, unloading, traveling from one port to the next to getting. I mean, there's just so much movement with these things that you never know when you open a crate what you're going to get.
Yeah, I've seen people, they open it up and they got shattered door glass and dented panels and all kinds of stuff. I've seen all kinds of things people have gotten, and a lot of that has to do with the shippers, I'm sure, because obviously I wouldn't assume they're going to put a damaged product in a crate and then put it in a container, but yeah. So but let's see. Yeah, if anybody watching got any questions, feel free to ask at any time. We're just kind of going over some stuff, waiting for some people to show up. Probably give it about another 5 minutes, and then we'll let Nikki dig into her early Christmas present.
Yeah, my early Christmas present, as Mike said. Yeah, because that's what my husband told me when I bought it.
Yeah.
This was Christmas.
Don't ask for anything else.
And then I said, but babe, I need a new shop.
Yeah. Never fails. That's why I don't like my wife. Really don't have much to do with the business. Well, she don't have anything to do with the business really. So, like, she don't know what I spend or what I do. So, in that regard, but just makes it a little bit easier, I guess.
My husband, he doesn't keep up with what I buy, what I spend so much as it is. But if I need help up here, he's right here doing it. Like, he might not know how to operate the laser, but he can push the button.
Yeah.
And he'll be right up here. I've had him up here painting door signs at midnight some nights. So he's a trooper. He definitely, and he waited about 3.5 years on buying a tractor so I could build my laser business up.
Oh, there you go.
So he finally got his tractor this year. So now I'm in the clear for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things, like, to me, I mean, I wouldn't say my wife's not supportive, but she's just not, it's not something that interests her. But, having the support there is always good, regardless, especially when you're really needing the help and support. Definitely comes in handy.
And I think that if I wasn't, if I didn't work full time and do all that, like, it probably would just be pretty, he would still be supportive, but I'd probably have more time to get things done on my own. But with our situation and everything that we got going on, it's like we have to work together. I mean, I go lay flooring for him and at his construction business as well. So, like,
yeah. Well, when you got a basketball team you got to tend to, I mean,
yes,
that's a team effort right there.
Yes. Most definitely.
Oh, Matt just messaged me. He might join us if we're still on. He's heading back home now, so.
All right.
And then Nick should be joining us here in a little bit as well, hopefully.
Awesome. I'm still like I think I dreamed about Nick's little enclosure the other day. All his little flashy lights and stuff.
Yeah, it's still really cool.
It is.
Hola, Bob. What's going on?
Bob.
Yeah. Well, like his are, like you saw, obviously Tico. He's been doing enclosure for a little while now, and now I guess he's doing it for Hyoton. probably still not saying that right, but
I I don't know. I think it's like Houghton or something. I just say Ocean.
Yeah, it's just phonetically, I think
That's how
more
it's spelled.
appropriate for us. But yeah, but yeah, he's got some pretty cool enclosures. I've been following him on that for probably a couple years at this point.
Yes.
He comes up with some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, Nick does a lot of stuff just to do it. I don't know if he'll ever
He's
sell any of that stuff, but he loves to tinker and comes up with some pretty
Yeah.
cool stuff.
He's got the mind and the patience for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've unfortunately I've lost a lot of that with the business and everything because I don't have time to do anything really. Once in a while I'll pop out in the shop and mess with everybody, and I usually end up walking on their toes, so I just get the hell out of the way and let them do their job.
Right. So
But,
most of the time, that's the best way to be.
or I'll go out there and start doing something, and I'll ask a question. They're just like, just go back in the shop or the office. We got you. You're good. Like, all right, I know what I'm not wanting.
Right.
But,
My kids do that to me a lot of times. Like they're be like, I tell them to do something, and then you know how like it's like I tell my kids to load the dishwasher. Well, I load the dishwasher a certain way when I do it, and it's like OCD for me to go in there and them not be loaded the right way.
they're just everywhere.
And I take them back out and do it again, so they've gotten to where they don't even do it anymore because they're like, "You're just gonna redo it, so why am I doing it?"
Yeah, they pull that crap of my wife too. I don't. I'm just like, do the dishes. At this point, I don't care. I just want them to have the responsibility and do it. Because I used to be the same way. I'd go in there, like bowls would be right side up instead of upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Cups just laying in there, not even standing up, nothing. Just pots and pans everywhere. And then they'll put the soap in it, shut the door, start it. I'm like, did you fill it all the way up? They're like, yeah. And I'll open it up, and like half the dishes from the sink aren't even in the dishwasher. And it's like,
Right. Hey there, April. I know you're busy today.
don't have time.
Hey,
Well, thanks for joining anyways. Hopefully you stay around for a little bit. If not, we understand.
So I think the worst with me is like my husband's left-handed and I'm right-handed, so when we do things, it's always opposite.
Left-handed.
And, oh my gosh, it drives me bonkers.
That's like when we go out to eat. Like I have to sit on the end with my arm out.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll try to pin me in a corner. I'm like, no, I'm not rubbing elbows with you through dinner. Like, it's not working that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We do the same thing if we get to go out to eat. We don't go out to eat much with 6 youngins, so.
Yeah, that could get rather expensive quick.
I could buy like 4 lasers in the price of 4 meals.
Yeah, right. I mean, shoot, just like for us, for 3 of us now, to go out and eat is almost $100.
Yeah.
No matter where you go.
Imagine 6 of you.
Oh, geez.
Only 2 of them get kiddie meals now, so you know. And then boys, they'll eat you out of house and home anyway.
Yeah. Never had a chance to have a boy, but it's all good. I got.
If I'd had girls first, we'd have stopped.
I got 2 girls that won't take no shit from nobody, so.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm good.
Well, my girls are my babies. They're the 7 and 4-year-olds. So all the boys,
okay.
My oldest is 18, and then I have a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 13-year-old. And there's a huge gap, and then we have the little girls. So there's no chance in hell that they're going to ever have a boyfriend between 4 older brothers and a daddy.
Right. And you don't have no twins, right?
No twins.
Oh wow.
So they're the closest to, they're 1 month or 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day apart.
How long?
1 year, 1 month, and 1 day.
How many of them?
That's just the two of them. The 14-year-old and the 13-year-old. The 18-year-old and the 16-year-old, of course, they got a small gap there. Yep. And then the 7 and 4-year-old, there's a 3-year gap there because we were done with the 7-year-old, and higher powers decided we wouldn't done, and gave me the 4-year-old. And she was actually born 3 years to the day that my mother-in-law passed away.
Oh, wow.
So I tell my husband all the time that the reason she is why she is because it's his mother paying him back for everything he ever did to her.
We were all good kids. What are you talking about?
I pray daily. I tell his mom, I'm like, Sandra, I didn't do all this to you.
Yeah.
And, but my 4-year-old, when she was 2, she got hit by a car. And she actually put a dent in the front end of this car. It threw her about 15 foot, and that child didn't have a scratch nor a bruise on her.
Oh, wow.
And
look who's here.
What's up, dude? I'm driving though, so if I hit a deer or something, I'm hanging up.
All right.
Don't be hitting no deer. You're supposed to be shooting them.
Just get back to us when you get back, man.
All right, man. I just didn't want to leave you hanging, dude.
No, I appreciate it.
All right, man.
The wind noise in the background stuff a little bit.
All right, I'll be home in like 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right, later.
Bye. Sorry.
No.
But yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, I couldn't. I would love to have boys, but I don't know. Because like my oldest daughter is like just like me. She has no.
Oh Lord.
She has no feeling. She has no nerve. She tells you how it is, and that's the way it is. And I love her for it, but she throws it back in my face all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm acting just like you do.
Don't you love that?
I'm like, oh yeah, thanks. I needed that.
That's how my 14-year-old is with me, because he's just like me.
Yeah.
And it drives me. I think his attitude drives me more crazy than any of them because he's just like me. And he argues with my husband just like I do. Like, he will buck the system.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I don't want to hold off people too much longer. I know April's here. She don't want to be here. But
April's having a rough time.
That's all good.
Bless her heart.
She could be here. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and take the stage, we'll let you handle this. Let me
kind of lower y'all down a little bit here.
Let me make the screen bigger. Or hold on a second. Let me figure this out. Shoot. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right. What the heck? I'm trying to figure out how to get you only on the screen. If I do this, it puts you up, or puts me up there, and I can't see you. Let me see. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
All right. So today, for you guys just joining or don't know, I received the new Rotoboss Talon Probe. I have not cut the tape yet. I wanted to do all this today with you guys. So we're going to open this up because I'm super excited. And as soon
How's it going, Richard?
I will be doing some videos of this as well later on. So as always, packed really well.
Yeah, we learned pretty early on that packing's very key.
Yes. So I got my bag and my t-shirt.
And they gave you another one?
No. They gave me another one. Tell them.
I'm about to fire somebody over that.
Oh. Wow. Y'all, this thing is beautiful. All right, so you got your attachments and stuff here. We'll go through that in a minute. I'm going to pull the actual rotary out here. Now I do have the extended base to use on my CO2 gantry. I have the Eon Mirror 9 for those who don't know. And Jason, if you want to explain a little bit about what the difference is with this one and the standard Talon.
Yeah, so the standard Talon obviously is the first one we come up with. The standard Talon that we have is just a direct drive unit, and it works really well as a direct drive, but a lot of other lasers use lower steps. So this is one to help with that. So if you have like a OM Tech or something that's running about 2,000 to 3,000 steps, now you'll be able to run about 6,000 steps. So you'll be able to double your steps. And that goes for everything with Galvo, all that stuff. The other thing is with that is, I don't know if you can tell from your other Talon, but the head unit is made of different material. It's made of 7075 billet aluminum now. So that does two things for us. One, we can get our tolerances a lot tighter to get rid of the slop and any slop that's in the jaws. And two, with those closer tolerances, it moves smoother, as well as how well it's going to wear over time. I mean, obviously, all of our stuff has a lifetime warranty, so it's not so much a consumer problem or issue, but more for us to help make sure that we can provide the best that we can and provide all the needed or required support for that. So, holy, that thing's dirty already. Clean that thing up.
What, didn't you see me do like 300 tumblers the other day?
Oh yeah. But yeah, they're both made off of the same platform. I wanted to keep it modular and swappable, so both of them work on the stand or they work on the Galvo. Just depends on how you order it or how you're going to use it. But so they sit on the same platform. It's belt drive, the Pro's belt drive, the gear reduction in it, or the opposite of the reduction. I don't know what they call it. Is it got an increased gear ratio, basically, to allow it to be able to. I lost my train of thought. Just hold it up and it'll just like focus on that. The gear ratio, so it allows for finer movements, more torque. That'll come in play if you're doing the vertical for like a turntable style on a Galvo. So you can put a lot more weight on there and it can handle it. Whereas a direct drive, it will work. But once you start getting heavier things, like if you're trying to do like a rack of cups or something like that, the weight of that can affect how it engraves. But with this, with the gear reduction, the extra torque and all that stuff in it, it makes it a lot easier and a lot better to use for something like that.
So, who was it? On that question.
On the OM Tech, absolutely never have you had to change anything on ours. With the Pro, like I said, if OM Techs typically run somewhere in the 2,000s to low 3,000s on their steps. And with the Pro, that's automatically going to bump you up to about 6,000 steps, or whatever your steps are doubled. So even with the Talon, the regular Talon, you don't have to adjust the dip switches. It's just going to rotate based on your controller, which, I mean, people have been using these for 3 or 4 years, and OM Techs and other lasers, and the steps work just fine. However, by increasing the steps, you get a little bit better quality, finer, smoother movements when it rotates. So I guess to answer that another way, yes, you can adjust your dip switches if you want to get more out of it. But we haven't had any issues with the regular Talon, and with the Talon Pro, that should be a non-existent concern or issue. Fiber and grip, I have to play around with the Y dip switches and change from flat to. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like no one has ever had to do that. Now you can elect to do that if you want to get much higher steps. But like I said, people have been using them for, well, on the rollers too, not just the chuck, because the chuck's only been out for about a year. But either way you cut it, you don't have to do it, but you can if you want to get more steps out of it. The other option for you is to go in and put a third driver in there, or a fourth if you have an X, Y, and Z. So you put a fourth driver in there, and you can piggyback off the Y, run that up to a connector and the laser, and then have a switch to flip it from rotary to Y. So you don't have to take the Y connector out and then put the rotary on. You plug it into its own connector, flip a switch, and then it uses the other driver. And in that case, you can put the driver how many ever steps you want. Like you can go through the roof with it. But yeah, switching out the Y dip switches is a big pain in the butt. Yeah, we've tried to avoid that as much as possible with our setups. But
so Jason, one thing I noticed, so if somebody orders, like I ordered this for my Mirror 9 on your website, I think it shows up Nova or Eon Novas or whatever, same concept. If I wanted to use this on my Galvo, do I need to purchase or add another extension on here?
Well, if you're running the EMP, no. If you're running Eon's fiber or Galvos, no. Okay. If you want to use it on, say, a Boss or OM-Tech or something like that that's compatible as far as the plugs, you would just get a harness that would take it from a 6-pin down to a 4-pin, and just use it that way. I know we sent you one.
Available as well, correct?
Yeah, I know I sent you one last time, and we messed up on that for sure. It wasn't us. The connector inside, we went through a few of them that we had built up, and the solder joints weren't. Basically, it was a cold solder joint, so it got bumped or pulled on or something, and it popped it off. And I'm assuming it probably did the same with yours. But yeah, we've addressed that, and if anybody has any problems with their machine, our numbers, or my number, is on every rotary. So if something don't work or something's not in the package that you should have got, people can always reach out to me and we'll get it taken care of, because obviously it's not our intention, but sometimes things like that happen.
And that's what I kind of wanted to point it out. Like I had no problem going to Jason and saying, hey, I had an issue, and it was, he's very approachable. So you guys, if you have issues, please reach out.
Yep.
Bob, I see your comment there with the 12800. It's the same. I use the same steps per rotation on my Mirror 9.
Yep. The only thing now is on your Mirror, it's going to be about 2,400 or 24,000 on the Mirror.
So this one's going to be different.
If you use it on the Mirror, yes.
Okay.
Because it's basically double whatever your normal steps are. Okay. It's gonna vary, so you have to go through the setup process and everything still. But a good point of reference is just basically double what you're used to, or what you're normally using, and then work from there. So let's see.
All right, so Bob, to clarify, on the regular Talon, my steps per rotation were 12,800. Yep. I have not hooked the Talon Pro up yet. I just unboxed it. I will later though, and I will definitely give you guys some info on it once I get it up and running and things like that. So and for anybody who has the same lasers as I do, I'm happy to share any information.
Yep. Yeah, for Raffy Jack. Yeah, I mean it's not that difficult. It's actually really easy to do, and we're even thinking about building some kits up for people, to where basically you follow the instructions, you plug it in, and you're off and running. It's a fairly simple process, and it beats having to deal with all that. But yeah, if you have any questions or if you need help doing it, if you change your mind or whatever, just feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to guide you through that and see kind of what we can do for you. But that's been really popular in a lot of lasers that don't have a designated rotary driver. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, the 12.8, you're going to double that basically. Converted my galvos to the same pin as the Mira. So yes, you can do that. You can still put a 6-pin in there. You just use 1 through 5 or 1 through 7, or what am I talking about? 1 through 4 for the galvos typically, unless you put a switching mechanism in there or switch itself, then you can figure that out. But yeah, you can convert anything. It doesn't matter, especially like if someone has a CO2 gantry or a gantry and a fiber. I would buy it for the gantry because the fiber rotary driver doesn't have anything to do with anything else in that laser. So if you can make all the changes you want, you can up your steps, you can do whatever, you can put a new connector, all kinds of different things. So if you're going to get it for multiple machines, I would get it for the bigger of the machines, which would be the gantry, and then tailor the driver on the galvo to work with the rotary as it works with the gantry. So what's up, Matt? You're back again.
Somebody just bought 3 cups on my website, and one of them, they were all Stanleys, and I didn't change my pricing, so somebody just bought a fully wrapped Stanley on my website for $55.
What?
Failure.
Yeah, now I gotta hit them up and be like, yo, you owe me money, or I gotta refund y'all now. That sucks, dude.
Yeah, because that's taking a big L there.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it an L because they bought 2 other cups, but like if it was just that one, dude, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, because those cups are what, $50 to $70?
$48, I think, after taxes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
But you can't get. Can you not get those wholesale?
You cannot get them wholesale.
Really?
Those are Yetis. Yetis
Wow.
and Stanleys.
Wow. See, I don't understand. I mean, I understand they have their business model and all, but I just don't understand why. I mean,
it's because it's trendy, man.
Well, that's true. I mean, why lower the price when everybody's buying it anyways? But I mean, I don't know. It seems weird not to allow people to buy them in bulk and do whatever.
Yeah, well, they don't understand that like engravers are like, I mean, like your average customer is not walking into your Dick's Sporting Goods and buying 30 cups.
Yeah. Yeah, Tracy says that they offer engraving too. I don't know.
They do, but it's usually simple
logos. Yeah, it's all basic logos.
Yeah, I know a lot of places they'll do, like, even around here. Like, I'm the only one that does completely custom stuff. Like, I'll do complete custom work. Nobody else around here really does it, and trying to get the pricing and all that stuff figured out, it's kind of tough, but kind of like anything else. I mean, you just kind of roll with it and see how it goes. But like I had a guy recently come in, and he had 2 Stanley Cups done. And actually, I just posted a video on it. The one with the coaches, it's got the little like nutrition label on it and stuff. And he comes back and he's like, I wasn't there. and one of my employees was there taking or getting his payment and giving him his cups and stuff, and he tried to pull the wool over their eyes, like, oh, he said it was this much. And she called me up. She's like, did you tell him it's this much? I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't know where he got that from. And, you know, it wasn't that much difference. It was like $20 difference. I was like, you know what? Just whatever. Just give it to him. But in the future, mental note, if he walks through the door again, I get my $20 back.
Hey man, $20 is $20, dude.
Yeah, and I mean it is what it is, but it's one of those things, you know. Try not to piss people off. And at the time, it was like mom versus dad, basically, because I wasn't there. I'm the one that told him the price, and then he's trying to say there's a different price when he was picking it up, and I wasn't there to handle it, and you know, so. It is what it is, but that happens quite frequently. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Oh, it's been a day, man. It has been a day, but finally made it here. Now I'm just trying to find, because I didn't have time to set up my camera, I'm trying to find something to put my phone on. I'm just like walking around holding it like a crazy person.
Well, Nicky, while he's doing that, do you have anything else you had that you wanted to talk about with that or anything?
I just kind of wanted to show, I know, so any of you that know that I have a power burn grip as well. I used it for a lot. But I kind of wanted to show, even on the Talon, adjusting is so easy when you're tilting. It literally is the easiest thing. And you can just tilt, move it, tighten these little knobs back up, you're done. Same concept on the Pro. If you look, I'm gonna turn it around so you guys can see it a little better.
Look at that, 2 Talon Pros. Look at that. Look at that.
Like
One Talon,
boss.
one Pro.
So if Matt would just send me one of those CO2 Galvos, or Nick or somebody, I could, you know, really pump out some colors now.
I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Like,
I
what?
know.
What do you think these grow on trees or something?
I know.
I noticed how running now.
Yeah.
What's that?
None of them's running right now, right?
Those are running right.
Oh no.
That's all right.
There's only one that's not running, and that's that stupid air-cooled one.
See, I got 9 lasers, but at any given time, maybe 1 or 2 of them's running.
Yeah, dude, that's how it goes. That's how it goes, man.
But I got one of everything, so there ain't nothing I can't handle.
Right. That's kind of the way I look at it. I just need one of everything. It's minimal.
Yeah.
My fiber laser, my MOPA fiber happens to be my favorite laser. But so if I can do something on it, that's usually where I'm at.
So Mark, you got the right idea, but it's not exactly double. It should be somewhere close to it. That's why, like I said, you need to go through your setup procedures just to make sure you dial those in, because it could be 2 different machines, 2 exact same machines could have different settings. So it's not necessarily going to be exactly the same as mine or Nicky's or whoever else's. But yeah, you just basically just want to double your steps and then start your setup process from there. So
Yeah, it never hurts to go through that stuff again anyway, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the
occasionally
Pro,
recheck mine.
Yeah, I mean, with the Pro, I mean, it's brand new. I know in all my lasers, my Thunders, my Hyotin, I'm gonna butcher that. Haltian. I'm gonna butcher that for the rest of my life. But you know, even having all of those working, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm like a damn dog with a squirrel. I got so much stuff running through my mind right now. But anyways, but yeah, with the I'm not gonna say it. With my Galvos, they're completely different. Like even from my CO2 to my UV, the steps and everything are different on those. Now I don't know if that's because the driver's different or whatever, but you know, it's not a guarantee that they're all going to be the same. So you just go through the testing process, and it's brand new, so very few people have it at this point. I think there's about 50 of them total going out for the pre-orders, and I think we sent out about 20 something of them already. So I'm sure we'll hear more feedback from people with the different machines. I know with the Thunders and the Houghton, I know
Pascals.
Pascals. I know what they take, and if anybody needs any numbers for the Thunder or the Houghton, then let me know and I can look them up tomorrow and answer that question, at least for mine. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt again, Nikki.
No, you're good. So I'm just so what's up with the Sour Patch Kid?
The Sour
That's
Patch
a warhead.
Kid? That's a warhead.
Or a warhead or whatever it's I'm not eating it. I'm gonna give it to my kid though.
No, we in the sticker packs and stuff. We always put candy and that's something that we've always done. We've always done the candy as well, the gummy bears or some variation of
The
that.
guy gummy bears. They won't make it in the house.
Yeah. And we use the good gummy bears, the big bag. We don't use that little airplane peanut bag of gummy bears.
Yeah, well, and Haribos are the supreme gummy bear.
Oh yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, we buy them by the cases and by the bulk.
I swallowed a warhead whole once, dude. Like, if you look at one of those and you're like, yo, that's really impressive, dude.
Oh,
And that's what happens when you do that. You turn into Matt.
Yeah.
The cautionary tale.
Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it was like a time release pill of profanity and
Just put that
Whatever else.
warhead. Put the warhead on the forehead.
So in the attachment box as well, you get the longer fingers. So for larger products, I think I just seen a video Jason did. I think I seen it on TikTok. So where he shows how that works for like what was that, a 6 or an 8-inch dog bowl?
Yeah. Once you get beyond like your 30 and 40 ounce cup size, then that's kind of where that picks up, and then you can do pretty much anything with it. And then if you notice on the fingers themselves, they have a groove on the top.
Yes.
Yeah. That's part of it, but that indexes it to the jaw. But the groove on the back side there, I don't know if I got you those accessories last time, but the little jaws with the perforated or serrated ends on it, the horizontal extensions, they're little L-shaped pieces.
I'm using those on mine right now.
Are you? Yeah, because that's what that groove on the extension fingers is. So if you need to use that on something bigger, it'll slide right on that, just like it does on the teeth. It'll be in a little bubble bag.
Yep. I got them. I just hadn't used them.
What was that?
I'm using those to run cups right now, dude. Like, hold on, where is it? I can't see my camera, dude, for some reason. Yeah, so if you put a rubber bumper on that, dude, that is the superior way to right?
Well, that's why it's got 3 holes in the end, so you can still put
so
the bumpers.
This way to run like a 40-ounce cup that I like. This dude, this is it. It takes this is the best way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the extension pieces, that's what that groove on the extension pieces is. So you can put that onto those as well.
Let me open up some of these accessories that I haven't even touched yet because it works just fine as is.
Now that came with the second batch of rotaries that we put out. So the first batch of like 200 of them didn't have that. But unless you need it, you don't need it. You got someone gonna steal your gummy bears.
They're looking
Apparently,
up-
somebody must be watching me in the house.
I know, right? They're like, oh, Mom's got gummy bears. Let me go get them.
Mom's got
Look at
gummy
the
bears.
amateur move, dude. Look
Y'all
at
take
that.
them back in the house. My son must have told on me.
What are you doing?
No, Dad have the video.
Oh, Daddy told on me.
Oh,
Ah.
damn.
Hey, where mine?
Daddy's like, go get Mommy's
You
gummy
gotta
bears.
share with Sissy.
Yeah, but share it. Where's the other one?
I don't have no more.
Well, you just need to order like 6 more rotaries, and you can give them each a bag.
Right?
Yeah.
If I had 6 more machines to put them on, I'd order 6 more rotaries. Nick's got some spares.
I got a few lying around.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe, for telling on me, by the way, since you're watching.
I got a couple of pie burns sitting in like a recycle bin up on a shelf over here.
Good place for them.
Yeah.
It is a good place for them. Whoever said that.
my pie burn I have is sitting
Brett.
by my UV laser at the moment, but I haven't used it since I've gotten the Rotoball, so
All right, so this guy, dude, this Tipsy Magnolia guy keeps sending me stuff.
you're breaking.
He's a cool dude, but like he just keeps sending me things. You know?
The
Like
Tipsy
what?
Tumbler guy?
Yeah, he just keeps sending me stuff, dude. It's like, yo, man, that's cool, man. Just send like one box though. Like, you
Well,
know?
so they just came out. They just came out with the new one. So I just got a box as well. They just came out with the chroma based style stuff.
Why did the ghost go to the coffee shop?
I'm wondering why I didn't get no jokes. I didn't even open that box either.
To get a boost of energy.
Oh my goodness.
Ha! I like it.
Yeah.
Since Matt's gonna open his Tipsy Magnolia box, I guess I should open mine too because those are
Well,
some of the
I
first
mean,
tumblers.
I feel like a jerk because like he keeps sending me this stuff and then it takes me like days to get to it because I'm not really like
Because you're on the boat.
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Right,
putting
fishing
effort in
daily
it.
and hunting. He's putting up deer stands.
Yeah, I like don't do anything anymore, man. I'm like, yo, I'm like barely
Oh,
working.
look.
Like,
I need
I
your
got
job.
fruit snacks.
yeah, I got
Uh-oh.
Skittles, dude. I got some Skittles in my Tipsy Magnolia package.
In about 2 seconds, my little girls will be back up here for these.
Like, Mommy forgot something.
Yeah, so dude, like I'm like I mean, I'm gonna like, I mean, this guy gave us stuff to give away in the group and stuff like that, but like
Yes.
I'm pretty goddamn cheap when it comes to buying like stuff like this, dude. Because like you got it like on the dupes, right? So like I sold a dupe on my Etsy today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it and I'm like, dude, this is like almost not even worth it because it was an off-site ad. It was an off-site ad purchase for people who don't know. If you have over $10,000 in sales on your Etsy shop, you can no longer opt out of off-site advertising.
Mm.
And it's like a huge percentage. It's like 12%, I think, of the sale, right?
Jeez.
And there's no getting out of it, right? So it's like, all right, cool. I paid 12%. Then you pay the processing fee. Then you pay the there's another one that you're like, yo, that is the processing fee, but they call it something else, you know? And I ended up getting $47 out of that 65, right? Before shipping, before the cost of the cup. I'm like, all right, cool. Thank God I have a Galvo because that cup cost me $9 and then the shipping cost me $9. I'm like,
Yep.
You're making like $30 off of this cup, dude. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. Like when like you look at pricing for these, like I don't know where it is, dude. Like his pricing is fair. It's not horrible, but like that stuff does matter, dude, right?
Well, and if I don't know if you've really looked, you do get better prices in bulk.
Yes, yeah, I haven't looked at that. But
Yeah, so if you buy by the bulk price, you do get much better prices. So, and I mean, like I said, like they're just now kind of getting into the laser world. They were more epoxy and sublimation, I believe.
Yeah.
If you go to their Facebook group and look at some of these epoxy cups that these folks are doing, it's ridiculous. Like they're actually like It's almost like clay molding cups. They actually have form-fitted stuff on their cups.
But so this cup right here is $18.99.
Yes.
You know, I could buy these on Temu for $8.
Yeah. Quality's
Yeah.
not as much though, Matt.
Yeah,
They
but when
do
you're
have
talking
good quality
about price
cups.
as much, dude. If the cap is like this, dude, on Temu, dude. If it's half price, I don't give a shit. I've sent cups out like this, dude, and nobody ever complains.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody complain about it, dude.
Yeah, that's a big problem with any of them, because even like with the guy I'm working with to try to bring some drinkware to the U.S. I just put the link in the chat, but even with his, he has some Stanley type, the 40 ounce, and even with those, like it's hard getting the lids to line up. Like
yeah, I mean, you gotta
and
like
then-
be super anal about it, dude. I know like Bay Area blanks, like Christina Sams, like she had a thing with that, and like her supplier knows now, like she won't accept them if they're not like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I guess when you're putting in giant purchase orders like that, and you're like, hey man, we're gonna go somewhere else if you don't do this, like you bet your ass you're gonna do it, you know. But like, dude, I mean, like when you're talking about like if I had used that cup for the order I was just talking about, dude, I would have made $20, dude. Like I'm shutting down, dude, if I'm making $20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't pay your bills with that. You know?
Well, that's the bad thing about Etsy and all that stuff is people race to the bottom. Like they don't
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're making their money back, they don't care. But they're not
And-
thinking about paying themselves or anybody else. They're not thinking about the place that they're doing
your
this
taxes?
stuff in, the equipment
Your taxes at the end of the year?
Oh yeah, they don't. I don't think they take into consideration a lot of that stuff. And I think we're all at some point we were all guilty of that.
Yeah.
Like when we were first starting out, I know I was. I wasn't
Well, you know what?
racing the bottom, but I was willing to make or negotiate with people. Like if I said, "Hey, it's $20," they're like, "Oh, will you do it for 15?" I'm like, "Okay, whatever," you know. But now, like my prices are my prices. If people don't like it, then go somewhere else.
Well, you know what? There's
And-
nothing wrong with like blowing out a Black Friday sale and like ripping cups for $100, dude, for like
Yeah.
3 days a year. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that because you're gonna get a heavy volume.
Yep.
You know, but when people are like, "Oh, full wrap Stanley should be like $90, dude," like that girl Jess that I teach a little bit. She put a post up asking what she should charge for like her first Stanley, and someone said $85, dude. I'm like, no, like $85 for a full wrap Stanley. Like, what are you, high?
Yeah.
You know, that's insane.
And the thing is too, like what's funny is people often associate the cost of an item with the value of it. So
Yeah.
a lot of the time too, if you increase your prices, you're gonna have this like middle ground where you're not gonna get anyone from the market below you, and you're not gonna really get anyone from the market above you. So you have to increase them to the point where you're attracting those more the higher end buyers, right? And people, you know, you go in there and you see a name brand or whatever. It could be exactly the same as the generic next to it, but people always will associate value with a price tag. I mean, Tylenol and off-brand acetaminophen, like it's the same thing, but most people will choose the Tylenol because, you know, it's a name brand. And we're all about them name brands out here.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? When you and it's a weird thing, and you know what? I could totally see how it makes people kind of uncomfortable trying to do that. But like, when you sell cheaper items, you attract a cheaper clientele.
Mhm.
Always,
100%,
doesn't matter what
100%.
industry.
And
Like if you're selling something that's a budget item, you're always going to get people who are like, that $2 really matters to me. Whereas like you're like, yo, this Stanley is $500. People are like,
mhm.
I'll buy that. You know, like,
Bro, in that Stanley group, everyone's always pining after that the cream magnolia, and they're like, $500, it's a steal. And I'm like,
yeah,
y'all are nuts.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a collectible, whatever, but it's still just a cup, y'all.
Don't get me wrong. I'd be happy to take people's money for their Stanley Cup, dude. You know, I'm
And
happy to do it.
You load me up with those Magnolias, I'll crank them out for days.
Well, that's the thing is like you said, the value versus the cost versus the value, or however you said it. Yeah, a lot of people, like I have people come in, hey, can you do this thing for me real quick? It's just a real quick engraving or whatever. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Well, I want this design and I want this and this, and I'm like, that's not quick. That's like I gotta get artwork done. I gotta do all this, and you know, and that's another reason why I don't mess with my prices. My prices are what they are because I think it's a good value for what people are getting. And if people don't like that, it's like, well, I mean, there's other places to do it. I mean, and it's good. I like being in that situation where I don't have to take everything that comes in the door. I still try to, as much as possible, but like I was saying earlier with the guy that tried to play good cop, bad cop with me and my employee over price, you know, I would venture to say I probably won't deal with him again. And if I do, he's gonna get, you know, I'll get my $20 back. But no. But you know, just people don't take into consideration like what all is involved in it.
Yeah, well, and not for nothing, like even as like you had to write a check for that laser, dude. Like, take everything else out of the equation, dude, just to have that machine in your possession. How much did that cost? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, people don't account for that either. Like, you're gonna pay your laser off, making $20 a cup. You're gonna be there forever.
Oh man.
You know.
I mean, I do a lot of vendor events, and you know, when you go to these craft fairs and things like that, people treat them like swap meets. And when they come in, they want to bargain with you, or they'll snub their nose up at a price. And there's been several times that the customer says something rude, and I'll be honest with you, like my attitude will snap right back. I'll take it home with me before I give it to you.
Yeah,
it's just not that important to me.
Yeah.
There was a guy at a show that I was just at a couple weeks back, who I had my sister there helping me out, and I had on just not even engraved yet, just sitting out on the table was the new antique pink Stanley, whatever, you know, it's the gold with the like pink.
Pink.
Yeah. And he walks up, this short little hobbit dude comes up to my sister and is like, how much for this cup? And she's like, oh, well, you know, engraving, it's this price, and so on and so forth. And he's like, no, I just want the cup right now. And she's like, well, I don't think and then he interrupts her and goes, did you even or he goes, I'll give you $150 for it right now. And she was like, well, let me talk to him. And then he like got real attitude and started going, did you even just hear what I said? And at that point, like I had already been listening, and I got up and walked over, and I just straight up told him, like, first off, you can go online and buy that right now. Secondly, I wouldn't take your money if you offered me $1,000 for the way that you just spoke to my sister. So
yeah,
I'm out. Like I won't sacrifice my you know, dignity for a cost.
they think they got you over,
it just pisses me off.
They think they have you over a barrel, is what they think.
Yeah. You're not going to come into my shop and tell me how to run my stuff. Like, if you want someone to sell you a cup, go buy a freaking cup from a retailer. It's not hard.
Yeah.
But don't come in here and barking orders and getting mouthy. Like, oh man.
Yeah. Did you have to give up your watches?
I like a good haggle, but you know, I definitely like to haggle a little bit, but there's ways to go about it.
Well, normally when I go to craft fairs, I normally mark everything up at least $5, because most of the time, if I mark it up $5 and I'm willing to come down $5, they're satisfied with that.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair. You know.
Yeah, so that's the thing too, is with those events.
The other thing too, you know what the best part about owning your own business?
You just interrupted Jason super hard.
You got a big delay or something.
I think over here we talked to like, yeah.
But anyways, like when we go to events and stuff, we do everything custom. We have a little flip book that we have for like the event. Like we're getting ready to do a Halloween event next week or the week after, the 26th or whatever it is. We're doing an event for that, and we'll have like Halloween themed clip art or
so it's like a tattoo flash book or something.
yeah. And then like we have a full book. I mean, the book's probably about an inch thick with just nothing but different clip art and stuff like that. And then if someone asks, hey, do you have anything different, like something like a car or something like that, or car related? Okay, we'll flip back to that, and we'll, but like we'll just have that book with those pages up front for that event, and then have them use it that way. And then we have all of our cups laid out. They can pick the color, the size, the shape, whatever, and then we go do it on the spot. And most people don't complain too much. I haven't really had any like irate customers at those, but I have had people try to finagle me down on price and things like that. And if you're nice to me and you're not an asshole, then I'll probably work with you. Like I do a lot of stuff for the schools, like my daughter's schools and other schools in the area and things like that, and charity events and whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, it'll be $100. And then when they come pick it up, I'm like, you can have it, or just stuff like that. Just, I guess, to put, good energy out. Yeah, other than that, I don't typically mess with prices that much.
Yeah, the price is the price, dude. If you want it cheaper, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not, And then you start giving deals and stuff like that, and then the people start, like, not valuing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, or they go tell all their friends they got it for that price, and then you feel it just trickles.
Then you're screwed.
So there's a girl in one of the Stanley groups that, like, once a month for an entire week, she runs like 25% off. I don't know if anybody's seen that girl, but I'm like, yo, you realize you're convincing people not to shop with you 3 weeks out of every month, right?
Exactly.
Like, and that's what people are going to do. They're like, oh, I want so-and-so to do a cup for me. I'm just going to wait for that sale because I know it's every month. And I know, like, she's trying to drive traffic, but you're actually stifling your business that way.
It's the same thing with file sales. File sales, people who sell files do the same things. They like to run all these constant promotions. And I'm like, if I need something, I go buy it. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to wait a month on it.
Well, files are cheap, too. $7, $8.
Yeah, but I mean, typically if you want something, you're going to get it. Like, it doesn't, like for me, if I really want something, I don't really necessarily care about the cost. And if I want it, I'm not going to wait for it to save $20. But even on that same token is like a lot of the companies in this industry, laser companies, other accessory manufacturer people, like they're constantly running sales. And I never really thought about it, but someone mentioned it to me before. Is like if you're constantly running sales, it's not a sale.
Yeah, that's the price.
That's the price.
That's the price.
And it's like, so all these people doing these, we're doing a sale this week, we're doing a sale this month, we're doing a sale this, like you said, it diminishes the value of the product. I mean, the people are going to buy it, obviously, because it's probably cheaper, and those who want to wait or can wait will do it. But again, if you're always on sale, that's not a sale price. I mean, that's what it costs.
And depending too, it could actually be illegal to do it where you mark the value up on a product so high, so that way you can discount it way far down. It screws people over. Oh yeah. It's a lot of the time it's hard to prove. That's why a lot of companies don't get caught on it. But because I mean, you can set the price to whatever you want.
Amazon people got caught on that not this most recent Prime sale, but the one before it. A lot of companies got hammered for that because they right before the sale they'd jack their price up like $5 or $10. And then on the sale they'd give you like a $10, $15 off or whatever. So it's like you're not saving anything. And then afterwards the price goes back down to the regular price, which is what the sale price was.
Have you guys seen that video online of like Hobby Lobby? If you like scroll through, like there's like a bunch of things in a row, and like the price gets like less as you go. It's like the first one's like $20, then it's like 18, then it's like 15. You're like, holy shit! The guy just like grabs one from the back, and you're like, oh my god, dude, it's awesome.
Just like Ricardo says, every retail store does that.
Yeah. I mean, Walmart's like notorious for like changing parts out of like TVs like around Black Friday. Like they'll put like cheaper parts in those TVs because they're not made to last. They're made to be sold cheap.
Yeah.
You know, that's the end game.
Yep.
You know, if you're like, oh, I bought this TV for $110 on Black Friday and it breaks after 6 months. Well, you only spent $110 on it. You know.
Yeah, right. When they're selling 60 and 72-inch flat screen TVs for less than $1,000.
Yeah.
I think I bought a 75-inch and it was like $700.
Yeah. Even that seems pretty steep. It was probably like $450, dude.
Well, I remember the very first big TV we bought was a plasma. It was a 32-inch plasma TV. That thing cost $1,800. This was like, this was back in 2007, 2008. And it cost like $1,800 for a 32-inch plasma TV. I was like, holy cow. Now you could buy, well, you can't even really buy plasmas anymore. There's nobody really. But even getting like the OLED displays, the 1080p or the 4K, all that stuff, you're getting all those big TVs for less than $1,000. It's like, holy cow.
And like all tech, when it first comes out, right, is ridiculously expensive until it's been on the market for a while and improves. Like I remember the first like resin 3D printer that I saw. It was a 4-inch printable space, and it was like $15,000. And now they've got ones that move like 100 times faster for like $400.
Yeah, and the competition in the market is awesome for that. Because the competition is going to drive the price. Yeah. You know, and if they keep doing that, people keep coming out with new stuff. Like I was talking to Nikki about a laser company. I'm not going to say the name, but like they'll come out with something one week, and then like a month later or 2 months later, they'll come out with a completely brand new product to compete with the one they just released. And it's like, you know, and I'm kind of guilty of that a little bit. But I'm not doing it to try to make money. I'm just doing it because it's a passion of mine. I like tinkering, I like building, I like creating things. So for me, it's not so much about the money. It's about just doing it. Like I've got a couple rotaries. Like we got our boot, which is our budget friendly. It's about $500. Don't really market it or anything, but I have it. You know.
Is that a roller?
It's a roller. Yeah. It's a budget roller. I mean, it's 100 times better than any other budget roller you'll ever find. But
what's it called? The boot?
The Roto Boot. Yeah. It's a $500. Well, yeah. Well, for anything other than Thunder, it's $500.
Oh, yeah, it's a little guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. What is that, like a 5-inch piece of extrusion in the photo?
No. No, it's not. It's the same size as the regular rotaries. It's just there's no fancy lift. There's no milled edges. It's just as bare bones as I could get it to get the price down, and still be functional and kind of worth the money, so to speak. But yeah, like stuff like that, I have them sitting on the shelf. I don't sell many of them, but you know, I don't really care. I got it. I made it.
Yeah.
You know, if people buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. and that's pretty much
I
the
think
way
that's
I feel.
my thing is I always want, like, when I invest in something, I look at it just like that, as an investment. So I always want the best. I don't want to go cheap and end up having to buy 2 or 3 different ones because I'm spending triple the money.
Yeah, you want something you
I
can
think it's
grow into, not out of.
Yes.
Like I'd say 90% of our stuff is what I would call backwards compatible, to where you can take stuff now and put it on the same unit you bought 4 years ago and it's going to work. And the same thing with the Talon and even with the Ascend, the Ascend Pro and stuff coming out. It's meant to be compatible. Like there's features, there's holes and stuff on those rotaries that the average person would look at and be like, I don't know what that hole's for, but it's there. But it's things that I've got in my head that I want to bring out later that can adapt to that machine. So there's a lot of forethought that goes into that, because I could sell people a new machine to get them the latest and greatest, but like, again, this is not about the money for me. It's about doing what I do. So when they buy anything from us, they have that peace of mind knowing that they can upgrade it. Like the Talon Pro, you can take the Talon and upgrade it to the Talon Pro. You know, you don't have to go and buy a brand new rotary to get the latest and greatest if you want it. You know, and I could easily do that, but again, that's just not what I stand for, I guess is the way to put it. I don't know. So I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of my philosophy with the rotaries and stuff. But you know, like other people, they'll just come out with something new and be like, oh yeah, well, sorry, you got to buy the new one.
Mm-hmm. And you know, there's definitely something to be said to be a company that, you know, you're not trying to sell your cheapest rotary all the time, but you offer it because there's plenty of people who, you know, they don't know. They don't understand. They're trying to learn. They need somewhere to start. And offering products to people that cater to all walks of life, from the hobbyist to the professional, right? It's going to make you more well-rounded and make you a bigger part of the community. So
yeah, well, and like, I mean, I think all 4 of us can agree that like $1,200 for a rotary isn't expensive, right? You know what I mean?
No, well,
but
yeah,
I mean,
no.
you'll definitely get some sticker shock from it when you hear that. You're like,
Yeah.
ugh. But you also, if somebody, like, if you just were like, I don't, you know, I'm looking at buying lasers, and you started researching today, if everybody was just like, yo, man, a rotary is going to cost you $1,200.
You'd be
You
like,
know?
what?
Well, not necessarily though, because people buy these lasers that are like 12 grand, and they're like, that's just what it costs, man. That's just what the rotary costs. You know what I mean? Like, they can pay for themselves so quick, dude. You know,
It's like Nikki, you just did that 300 cup order or whatever it was. How much? I mean, if you don't mind saying, how much did you make off of that?
So those were those little short, stumpy ones from Tipsy Magnolia. I charged right at $11 a cup on them.
So that's what, $3,000 roughly that you made.
And I didn't supply the cups; the customers supplied the cups. So
yeah. So I mean, that one order paid for both of those rotaries sitting there, plus probably another one in one go.
Yeah, and he's got 364 more days a year to work. You know.
Yeah, because I could have did. I think the largest order I did 420 something tumblers in 13 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was rough.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was rough.
That's a lot of cups.
That's running multiple machines too, I'm sure.
No, that was all on my Mirror 9.
Oh my God!
You got that many done in that 13
hours.
Holy
dude,
cow.
it would have been like 6 on a Galvo, dude, if that. You know?
I know. That was when I really realized that I did those cups for a hospital, and it was Nurses Week. So they gave all of the nurses in the hospital tumblers. And it was, and granted, it was a single-sided logo, you know, but that was when I really started contemplating. I was like, I really need a Galvo CO2 laser.
Yeah.
Well, you're in luck. You know a guy.
I do know a guy,
Yeah.
and you know, if
Now
I
you
just
gotta
had
get
this,
talking to him.
I know. I keep
I was,
trying to convince Nick that he just doesn't need 4 of them, and he could. send
Hey,
me one.
you want to drive out here? You can go right ahead. I don't have any crates, and I don't like
Just
boxing
have
stuff up.
Just have one shipped from China, man.
If you got time
Right?
to make a week-long trip out there, then yeah, you're
Right. I was doing the math too. With you actually could, if you did nothing but pure like focus, tuned everything out. You could do easily about 450 to 500 cups an hour on one CO2 Galvo using cylinder correction and just swapping out cups.
Yeah, that sounds like a friggin' nightmare. That also sounds like a money printing machine.
the one thing I don't like.
Really is.
The one thing I don't like about the cylinder correction is when you start getting to the edges kind of get flared a little bit because the beam kind of coming at an angle at it.
Yeah,
and you're already going around the curve.
You gotta defocus it just like so perfectly.
Like a 30-ounce cup, yeah, that you could do a 3-inch logo on that with cylinder correction, probably no problem. I don't know, I've never done it, but from what I have tried, that was my biggest thing. Is I just don't like the look of it as it gets towards the edges.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be done. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of, for me, it's not acceptable. As far as like doing that for customers. But
you just have to get those settings just right and make it repeatable, right? So you mark everything down, you make sure that it's all dialed in just perfectly, and you can get some really good results with cylinder correction. But if you're off by even a hair, you're right, it's not going to come out as well.
Yeah.
Well, and then so I was talking about like the 420 tumblers. That's engraving, cleaning, and unpacking, engraving, cleaning, boxing back up in 13 hours. But I mean, I had my husband helping me as well, so we were swapping out tumblers. One of us was wiping, one of us was packing. So you got to think, like, if it would have been by myself, there's no way.
Yeah.
I know. Are you still wiping stuff down by hand?
Oh, he's grabbing his drill.
It's all. I don't even try anymore. Oh, I didn't get all the way through the powder coat. No worries.
Yeah. That's like, I just use the Duramark Blue and a magic sponge. I'll literally just spray it on there, wipe it a couple times, and that's it. Like, there's no scrubbing.
Yeah, I use a microfiber cloth and some LA Awesome, and it wipes clean.
Microfibers suck, in my opinion.
I like them because I can rewash them. I
haven't found any that work really well for that, though. Because, I mean, you have to wash them probably half a dozen times to get them to kind of not be that real slick kind of.
Yeah, and like linty. They always
Yeah.
These are not. I think they're the Home Depot brand. These.
Oh, okay.
They don't repel the water. Like,
don't?
I know what you're talking about. They don't repel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the ones I got, I mean, you got to wash them like half a dozen times before they'll even get rid of that kind of slippery kind of feeling to them. But I just use the magic sponges. I can get like 100 of them for $20.
Yeah. I fucking throw out microfiber cloths after they're dirty, dude. Are you supposed to wash them?
I rewash them. Look, I'm cheap.
Dude, I'm like, oh, it's dirty. I'm chucking it, dude. I throw away so many of those, dude.
The idea is to save money.
You're such a bro.
Yeah, that's chill, right?
If you can get a boat and retire to the water, then I guess it really doesn't matter. But
I'm a boat owner, dude. I throw money away just because, dude. You know how it goes, man.
That's a man move. It's like y'all cooking macaroni and cheese in a pot, and then instead of washing the pot, you throw it away and buy a new one.
I have a hard enough time doing my own laundry, let alone washing rags to scrub stuff. You know, it's like $8 for like a 30 pack of those, dude. Like that's all right, dude. You know,
I mean, that's $8. You got 6 youngins running around. You'll save that $8.
yeah.
You want to answer that one, Nick?
Yeah, so I got these on Amazon. I don't. Let's see if I can find the package that it came in, so I can tell you the brand. But they come with a set. If you just
While he's doing that,
You
real
just-
quick, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll get to them.
these are the Roto Eraser, Magic Eraser Drill Bit Refill Pack.
Are they Velcro on the back or something? They just stick to.
Well, yeah, this part is Velcro, and then this is like that Scotch Brite pad.
Yeah.
And you just kind of stick it on, and it sticks really well. The only thing is like, what if you do like Stanley's and stuff, I really recommend putting the handle back on before you start cleaning, because the tabs will cut that pad in half when it's spinning.
Oh yeah.
That's a really good way to burn through them real quick.
Are there how much
But-
does it cost?
The refills are like, I think like $10, and you get 12 of them, I think.
How
Or
often
no,
put it out?
15.
Yeah, how often do you have to switch?
Oh, well, I mean, it just depends on how hard you're abusing it. But like if your machine's running well and they're coming out mostly clean anyways, I mean, one will last me, I don't know. If I'm being good about it, 40 to 50 cups easily. Like and the nice thing too is like, we've all done it where we're like a little bit out of focus and like our edges aren't the cleanest. Like that, you turn your drill on high and it'll just buff out anything and make it super shiny. And it doesn't take off the regular powder coat when you're using blue. And the reason that I use blue for them is because I tried LA Awesome and it just foams up, and then foam is just shooting everywhere. So you don't really want that.
Y'all got to use that gel, dude. I keep trying to put everybody on this gel stuff, and now I'm starting to see engravers using it, dude. That stuff is awesome, dude.
What is it, man?
The goof
off
remover gel, dude. It's the best stuff ever, dude.
So
works out.
I know with the blue that I use, after I'm done wiping it off, I'll spray it with soap and water, and then wipe that off. Because the acid and stuff in the solution, if you leave it on there, it'll start to discolor the powder coat. So you got to get it off there.
Yeah,
but I found another thing too. There's saddle soap. Saddle soap works phenomenal on getting the residue off.
this stuff right here works really well too.
Easy off. But doesn't that take the color off?
Yeah, I'd be concerned.
This one doesn't have any grit in it. The Ceramibrite has grit.
Oh.
This one is actually a clear gel.
Okay.
And you just let it sit there for probably just a couple of seconds, and it will clean stuff off in a heartbeat.
Huh.
There's a lot of ways to clean your cups. At the end of the day, though, what anyone listening should take from it is, don't send out a crap product, right? Don't send out some product that like it looks awful. It's not all the way through the powder coat, or it's like dirty as hell. Just it's going to cost you more in the return than it will in just doing it again or going back over it if you have a chuck.
Yeah. Asking about RC parts, but I happen to deal with RC parts too, or used to during COVID and stuff. But I mean, just find what looks good and works for you, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of cheap stuff on there for sure. Not sure how to answer that really.
Yeah, I don't really know much about RC cars. I've had a couple Traxxas ones, but I traded them for a heat press.
Yeah,
I got
those
a ton of
RC,
them.
dude. Will just go buy those RC parts that you want, dude. Just go buy them, dude.
Yeah.
Be bougie. Get the expensive stuff.
It depends on what you do with it. It depends on what you do with it. If you're gonna bash it, don't go buying stuff off Amazon because that ain't gonna last. I got like 20. Yeah, about 20 RC cars.
Nerd.
I don't even. Well, a lot of them are the LMT monster trucks. I still have parts for it, but I used to make parts and stuff for it, aftermarket parts for them during COVID and everything. When I was sick with COVID and got jacked up with that, I kind of started doing that a little bit. But yeah.
Dude, that housing behind you, Nick, is way too bougie, dude.
Isn't it legit though?
I'm like, yo, is that light? Is that light going around it? Oh
Yes.
yeah, it is. Like, why, dude?
Because
That's
it's
so awesome.
bro. You can ask Jason. He was watching the live whenever I was at the show and I went live. I had people crowding around that thing and just
Like, they weren't even looking at the
question after
laser.
question. Well, they see that, right? Because you can see this from across the entire building. It doesn't matter where you're at. This is standing out. And then they get closer and they're walking by, and then all they see is a cup and it's on fire. And they're like, "What is happening?" And I'm like, but you'd be surprised how many people thought, "Is that a 3D printer?" And I'm like, have you seen the size of this thing? Like, good Lord. That's a big 3D printer.
I had one person at a gun show ask me if my fiber laser was a 3D printer, and I'm like, dude, you just have no idea what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yep, totally, dude. Totally.
Is that a spaceship?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that's like I had someone call me, or they put in a request for getting stuff done, and they were asking what printer I had, what laser printer I had. I'm like, okay. So I was like, what do you mean a laser printer? Like a color printer, black and white? What are you talking about? They're like, no, the one that engraves or etches into wood and stuff like that. I said, you talking about just a laser machine? They're like, oh, I thought it was a laser printer. I'm like, no, it's not a printer. But a lot of people think it's, and even people that buy these lasers think it's just plug and play. And for the most part it is, but it's not like a household printer where you can just go buy any brand, plug it into USB, hit print, and it's going to print.
Well, let's be honest, those don't do that either, dude. Like that, I don't know why.
Not really.
I don't know why we have technology that, like, I have these machines that can physically print, like, physical objects, like actual objects, but then, like, your printer that's, like, the tech's been out forever, it's like paper jam, and there's, like, not even paper in it. Yeah.
or it's not connected.
Don't get it.
Hey, hold on real quick. Will, he's asking another question about the RC stuff real quick. If you want, give me a shout. I might be able to help you with that later offline. I don't want to get into that here because that's a whole other rabbit hole. But find me on Facebook or something and hit me up, and I'll be happy to help you out with that if I can.
You know what'd be really cool is if you, like, took, like, 4 rotaries, like Chuck rotaries, and, like, made a car out of it and, like, spun them at the same time.
Don't give me any ideas, man. Come on.
A Tesla powered by nothing but stepper motors.
Yeah.
I just remember back in the day doing slot car racing.
Yeah. Dude, slot cars was my jam, dude.
I still got a full track set up with the high performance race cars with the gun the gun tires on it. Dude, I haven't played with it in forever. But
it's still set up.
The true slot cars, not the little Hasbro or whatever that you can buy off the shelf, like true slot cars are freaking awesome. Like the big ones. Like the track takes up a freaking warehouse. They're that big. I mean, they're like
in the little town I grew up in, they had a place like almost like a pool hall type thing, and they had this big. They'd have competitions and things in there, and my brother and I would go there all the time and do it. It was actually like pretty badass.
Well, it's fun, and then like the stuff you can do to those cars, unreal.
I think Glowforge is to blame for the whole laser printer thing. Glowforge,
I agree.
Sucks.
But they do call it a laser printer.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah,
They
they
do.
call it a laser printer. They've always called it a laser printer, and that's a lot of that's probably where that comes from. Is people that had Glowforges before, or heard of Glowforges, or saw a commercial or something. But yeah, Glowforge. I don't know why they call it a
And
laser printer.
Well, I think it has more to do with the appearance, as it appears more like a desktop printer than it does a laser engraver. So,
that could be.
Yeah.
It could have just been a sales pitch.
like just the appearance of it visually.
Yeah.
I feel bad a lot of the time when people, they don't completely understand like the technology or the brands or the market really, and then they'll go and spend as much on a Glowforge Pro or whatever for the same price as they would be able to get, even an OhmTech, but 5 times the size and
Yeah.
twice the power, and
Yeah.
like actually be able to use Lightburn and all of these things, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot. It sucks.
That's what I tell people too. It's like, because I still get a lot of people call me up or message me asking me what they think of. Like, I just had a guy message me asking me what I think about 2 different competing brands, and it all boils down to 1, what you're doing with it. 2, do you know how to operate or work on it, or do you just want something that's simple, easy? You got support, warranties, all that stuff. So like OhmTech, if you know what you're doing and you don't mind working on it from time to time, OhmTech price point wise it's there. Because like you said, you can get a 36 or a 36 by 50 something inch OhmTech for like $3,500, $4,500.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay 2 to 3 times that much for a competitor's brand of the same size. But yeah, so I mean, it just depends on basically those 3 things: what you're doing, how to work on it, and I forget the third one. Anyways,
I'm jealous. There's a company out here, and they're getting rid of one of their machines, and it's a huge gantry. It's a rabbit laser, and it's ridiculous. Something like 80. It's got like an 80-inch by 60-inch bed or something like that.
good Lord.
And I was surprised to see that I was only rocking an 80-watt tube, and I was like, with that much space, I would at least be doing 150. But they were unloading it for like 14.
1,400.
14,000. If it was 1,400, it would be in my garage right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to fit in here anymore.
Like buying lasers secondhand is
It's gambled.
It's not something that I've done it. Like my very first laser I bought was a Chinese blue and white, and I bought it. A guy bought it, imported it, all that stuff. And this is before like Thunder, like all these big companies and stuff were really around. And I mean, it was a great machine. I had to work on it like crazy. Stepper motors going out, controllers, drivers, things like that, motors. But I mean, for what it cost me, I mean, it was nothing. It was like I think I paid like $3,000 for it. And it came completely ready to go: fans, chillers, extra lenses, parts, pieces, all that stuff. But and that was back when it was more or less a hobby. But as a business, I couldn't see getting a used one because you don't know how. It's like a used sports car.
Yeah.
Oh, we babied it. It was garage kept the whole time. Blah blah blah, whatever. But you get in it, you drive it for a month, and the clutch is gone. Like, because you don't know what people did to their stuff.
I always tell people, because people will ask me, they're like, "Hey, is this a good deal?" Rah rah. Like, they're looking marketplace for lasers and stuff like that. And my go-to is like, look at the honeycomb, because if they couldn't clean the honeycomb before they took the pictures, it says everything about how they cared for the machine. You know? I don't clean my honeycomb on my own tank ever, but I'm gonna put those by the road when I'm done with them. And let
I was
somebody-
gonna,
That's
I
like
was gonna say, you've never cleaned anything ever.
that's like those people
Unless
that,
it's a
sell a
fire.
car or motorcycle or something, and every time you look on Facebook for a car, motorcycle, truck, whatever, it's always pictures right after it was washed.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I know why I would do that.
yeah,
So
exactly.
they're probably doing the same thing. Obviously I wouldn't do that, but I know what I would do if I know why I would do it that way, and that's obviously to hide scratches, blemishes, things like that you wouldn't normally see if it was dry, or that you would normally see when it's dry. But yeah, it's just putting lipstick on a pig, pretty much.
There's also a guy out here with it's like the 55-inch Ohmtech, whatever, and the thing was literally on fire. Like the entire wire harness is gone. I highly doubt the tube even works. The whole the acrylic, the whole lid is like melted and caved in, and he wants $1,400. He's like, yeah, you just have to put in a few parts and it'll be working great. And I'm like, bro, I would have to, like, the only thing that's usable there is the frame, maybe, and I'd have to gut everything else out. Like, what are you talking about? You couldn't pay me $1,400 to repair it.
Yeah, we're gonna get an Ohmtech lid. We're gonna buy an Ohmtech lid.
It would be $1,400 just to buy that size, laser acrylic. Like it's insane.
Oh yeah. Yep. But I mean, that's where the whole price versus value comes in. The price is good, but the value ain't worth the damn.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, in my opinion, I'm happy to buy a machine that I will have to work on and tinker with, right? Because, when I bought my first Galvo, I was terrified to touch it. But now I'll rip it apart like it's any other Tuesday. And it's because I had issues, and it's because that I struggled with things that I was forced to learn. Or it's either learn or quit, and that's just not an option.
Yeah, look, this Glowforge is for sale locally. $1,800, dude. 40-watt Glowforge, dude.
It's a Glowforge Pro.
You're essentially just getting a fancy K40, dude, for almost $2,000.
I would say you're even getting a less fancy K40.
Yeah, because
you're getting a more restricted one.
There's no Z height on those, right? Like on Glowforges, there's like nothing.
No.
You can cut you can cut the bottom out of them and supposedly be able to do tumblers. You'd have to, of course, put it on risers. And me personally, I wouldn't even attempt it. Like
that's like X Tool. Like X Tools, you got, and this lady, she just got a Talon from me locally. She came, picked it up. We were talking. She has a Glowforge, or not Glowforge, but the X Tool, and we were trying to figure out which rotary would fit. She's like, oh, well, the bottom comes out of it, and you can put it in there. I watched a video on that. The panel on that thing is about the size of a shoe.
Like a removable piece?
Yeah. I mean, it's like maybe 8 inches wide, probably 12 inches long. It's like really tiny. And I'm like, what are you going to fit in there? But then I saw it was an X-Tool video, and they were going through like the rundown of everything. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got this rotary and stuff. It fits perfectly in there and all this. But even their own rotary, you have to set it down in and kind of dip it into position to go underneath the opening, like outside the opening size. You have to dip it down and put it in there. I'm like, why wouldn't you just make the panel bigger? Like, your own
because they don't want any other rotary to fit in it.
Yeah, that's exactly why. They want proprietary crap, so that way you have to go back to them.
There's barely fits in it. I mean, and maybe that was their game plan. I don't know. But she got a Talon, and we'll see if it works. But Actually, the Talon running on a NEMA 17. And that was so weird because like all of our rotaries have compatibility, like a dual motor mount system, so you can run a 17 or a 23. And when we put that in the Talon, you got this little tiny, like NEMA 17. The part that holds the motor, the normal motor, is twice the size. So when you're looking at it, you almost don't even see there's a motor attached to it. And everything's so small. But yeah, hopefully I'll get some feedback from her on that, see how that did. Because I'm kind of curious how it'll work with that.
Yeah.
But,
Now, could you finagle a you know, and I don't know enough about X tools because I really don't care about them. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But like, could you get a Rotoboss to work on like an F1?
if it's got a
Because
plug,
that's open, right? That's open. That's got like a laser bed, like a you know.
Yeah.
Like
It is. It's like
Yeah.
a fiber laser.
Yeah.
But the rotary connects with a USB.
yeah.
This is the
Hey, cut that off.
RA2 rotary.
But see,
Cut that off.
the good thing about that is if you look, that plug on the side of the motor comes right off there.
Yes.
You just swap it.
So and that's what happened with this lady that has the X tool, is she already had a harness. It's got the regular 4-pin harness, but it's really tiny. But at the end of it has that same plug that plugs in the motor, so her plug fits right in the motor that I put on the rotary. So she didn't have to worry about the same thing with that one. You could just use that same plug, use the NEMA 17, take one of ours, plug that into ours, and it'll work just fine. Now, space-wise, I don't know.
So it comes with.
That's the
plug.
connector right there. That's the
Yeah.
connector right there.
The 4-pin.
Yeah, that's the one she had. It has the flat plug on one side and then the round plug on the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and that just plugs into one of our motors for the NEMA 17s. But like I said, this is the first time it's not the first time someone's got it for X Tool, but it's the first time for the cabinet style. I sold them for the old X Tools. I think it's X Tool with the old open frame.
The
Gantry.
D1.
Yeah, maybe the older ones. I've sold a couple for those and never heard any complaints. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But with that one she just got, that'd be neat to see how it works in there.
I'd be curious because if I could make my Talons work on the F1, I would definitely do. I don't do engraving on tumblers at shows with my F1 because it's just not as simple.
Now on the F1, can you adjust your steps and things like that?
So supposedly the F1 Ultra and F1 do work on Lightburn, but you lose a lot of the features that they have with their software.
What features would you lose?
So the autofocus feature you lose, and there's been some glitches with the F1 Ultra as far as because it's got a blue light and the red and lining them up. I have not played with my F1 as much as I probably should have because I only use it for engraving patches at vendor events. That's it. But I did do that. I used the rotary the other day on it. And I mean, it works. It's just, it took me like 8 minutes to do a simple, you can just see like, so where it says, can you see it? The light's shining. Let's see. There you go. That mom life or Mimi life.
Took it 8 minutes to do that?
It took 8 minutes.
Holy.
And that's
That hurts
using
my soul.
What a moneymaker.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what can you do? Like, I could do a hat patch on it, and granted, it still takes longer than, say, my 60-watt Mopa would, but I can do hat patches in a minute or so on them, and I do pre-cut ones. I pre-cut them on my gantry, so I don't cut them on the F1 Ultra.
Yeah, I stole that idea from you, by the way, when we talked last time.
Yes.
We got an event coming up at the end of this month that I was talking about, and that's what we're doing. We're making rectangular and some semi-oval pre-cut patches, and that's what we're gonna put some punch some holes in them, put them on a dog tag chain, and then be like, here's our samples, which one do you want, and then they pick their artwork, and then we do it. Hopefully that'll work a lot better.
I do my patches like this.
Oh, okay. So you
Well, that's nice.
I put
Dude. That's pretty nice.
Yep. Fancy.
So you organize it like I did my Pokemon cards. That's legit.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Talk about
And
nerds.
so what I do is I put like one of each patch in here of each color, whichever I do, and then I have my spares in a photo box.
Mm.
Nick, please tell me you still have your original Pokemon cards, dude.
Actually, I don't. Unfortunately, it breaks my heart every day because I had some ones that today would be worth a lot of money, like a lot of money.
150 still, dude. I still have the original set.
I'm jealous.
Are you engraving those ahead of time?
So some of them I do have pre-engraved patches, and then I typically just take some blanks with me.
Oh my god, that level of organization makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Matt said the same thing about my wall of cups. Like,
yeah.
Basically, being clean and organized is just not for Matt.
Yeah, I prefer like my work areas to look like the wine shop in Harry Potter, dude.
When I tell you I am the most unorganized person, look at this. I have piles. There's walking room. Like there's barely
I bet you know where every damn bit of it is.
I do. But right now I got like 100 and something cutting boards in the middle of my floor. Because that's what I've been working on. Another laser maker actually got me a job with a school.
I saw. You know what? I saw that. That was actually really cool of her.
Yep.
So she's actually a teacher there, but she sold her Mirror 7 a while back. And so she reached out. She had the lady reach out to me and got me the job, and I'm super thankful. So, but yeah, my
tell her me next. I need some of those.
Right.
the thing
getting into sport places and marketing places, schools.
The thing that gets me though, going back to sorry, just scatterbrain a little bit, but going back to like the X tools and the diodes and the glow forges, like it just bugs the crap out of me that they sell these underpowered machines that are supposedly right for anyone to be able to use, but they're the same price, if not more expensive than professional grade machines, right? Yeah. That you like the F1, the F1 Ultra or whatever. Isn't that thing like $40-something $100, right? Like you can get a 60 watt fiber. You can get.
So I was a beta tester for that. So like,
yeah.
Keep in mind, I did not pay for any of my X tools. And I'm not ashamed to say that they did send them to me for testing. I have the regular F1, I have the Ultra, and then I also have that M1 Ultra they came out with. It's got an inkjet printer and a vinyl cutter in it as well. And they're hobby machines. I'm just going to be real honest. They're hobby machines. Yeah. And if that's what you're looking for, then that's the clientele they're going to appeal to.
Well, and that's great, but just don't make it so damn expensive. Like, good Lord. Yeah, well, like it has a purpose.
Not for nothing too. Like there's this entire thing called like Facebook, and like, I mean, you could even go back as far as like forums go and stuff like that. Like the company can even like them offering support really doesn't matter because there's a million people out there who have those, and they're like, yeah, man, this is how you do this. And chances are those people probably know more about the machines than the people who make those machines, you know, because they're pulling stuff apart, you know, and all that type of stuff. They're like, oh, I just bought this machine. Let me take it apart because I have autism. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, I want to know how it works, you know? So it's like, you're like, yeah, man, there's all this. We have aftermarket support. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but there's 1,000 Facebook groups that are also going to give me support.
And those guys are doing things that you never even thought you could do with your machine. I bet you never thought that you could engrave this, that, and the other. But I had a need, so I made it happen.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Dude, I mean, dude, people were like, yo, you can't crosshatch on rotaries. You know, that was like a thing like 2 years ago. I'm like, dude, you like watch me. You know, like you were like, yo, you're not supposed to do that. Rah, rah. Now I'm watching all these people do crosshatch patterns and stuff. I'm like, because you can, you know, like, you know,
dude, I'm looking at something right now. It just blew my mind. You know the old Cobalt toolboxes, the mini toolboxes. I'm looking right now. There's an ad on here. Lowe's has mini Lowe's buckets.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Like mini
like,
buckets.
They're like this big.
It's like a shot glass. Well, probably about the size of a coffee mug, I'd say probably. But freaking tiny. They're 98 cents a piece.
It's genius. It's genius.
Like,
they're going to sell 1 million of them.
0.5 quarts. 0.5 quarts, dude.
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty cool, dude.
It's a cup. It's a coffee cup size thing. You see it?
I mean, it's kind of like the person who invented Jenga blocks. You know, somebody stacks some
Well, no,
blocks and made millions.
It just struck me as funny because he was talking about something unrelated, but in my mind it was related to like the toolboxes, and the next thing I know I see this pop up on my feed. I'm like,
yeah, look, they're right there.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude.
I wonder if that's gonna be the next engraving challenge.
Oh right, yeah, that'd come up next.
Yes,
UV lasers all day.
I'm gonna take one of those little cups from Tipsy Magnolia, dude, and try and do a full wrap on it. Like one of my wraps. I'm gonna try and scale it down and like dial it.
Dude, I had
those little ones are so fun.
I had a guy.
To me, like I'm with you on the price on those, Matt. They're a little expensive, but I'll be honest with you, like people loved them at my last event just because it was something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, like, dude, if you can find the right thing to put on them, dude, I don't see why they wouldn't sell. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all about finding that one thing. I mean, I sold, I've sold like 500 challenge coins that said heads I get tail, tails I get head on it, dude. That's like the dumbest thing in the world, dude. You know, and like people wanted them, so.
Yeah. Well, look at Custom Grains Chance. The stupid shit that he makes all the time, and people just buy it up.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's not just the stuff he makes; it's his personality.
That too, yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like when I first came across him, I was like he has that personality.
Who is that?
For social media.
Chance Alexson. The Custom
What do
Grains.
they call him? The Hat Daddy or something?
Yeah.
He does all the leather patches. Works with Lone Star a lot.
Oh yeah. You know what? I've seen him on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, his personality is amazing.
He's got his hands in a lot of stuff right now.
Yes. I think he just got a bigger warehouse too, didn't he? Didn't I see that?
No, I saw the picture. I'm assuming he bought property and he's going to put a warehouse or a
Oh
shop
yeah,
there.
maybe that's what it was. I just glanced. I just seen a piece of it.
But yeah, I don't know for sure what that's all about. But I know he's got his hands in a lot of different things, which is cool. No hate here.
Hey, he's making it happen.
Yep. And that's the thing is like the drive and the passion to do it. You need to have it. You can't just sit there with a laser and some product behind you and just wait for people to show up. You gotta do something. You gotta stand out.
And it costs to do that, but it's so worth it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, I mean, not everything you do is gonna be like a home run. Like, I'm doing belts right now, dude. Like, dude. You know what? I'm ashamed to say I can't remember who sent it to me. So I'd ordered the hat clips. Have you guys seen those? They're like anodized hat clips.
You're probably
Yeah.
talking about Blake.
Yeah. Well, do you know what his business is?
Great Lake Laser Supply.
Great.
Yeah. So nice gentleman, you know. So I ordered a bunch of stuff. I ordered a bunch of those hat patches from him, and then he sent me some other stuff to like try and sell me on it. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, hey man, I'm gonna throw this stuff in. Maybe he'll buy that stuff. Well, like, I don't know him well enough to be like, yo, I'm gonna support that guy's business. But he sent me a belt, right? And I'm like, oh, I wonder where he's getting those from, right? So I found out kind of where he's getting them from. So these are anodized, and they're magnets for the belt buckles. I'm wearing one for like my hunting gear right now, you know. But like, these are awesome, and they're like $6, dude. Like, what grown man doesn't own like 3 belts, dude? You know, and to be able to put anything on them, dude. You don't wear belts, dude.
Like
You
I
don't.
got 2 belts, a regular belt and a dress belt. That's it.
All right, okay, that's fair. That's
He's
fair.
a simple man.
That's fair, dude. But like, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna buy a bunch of these, and I've been selling them to like my Facebook friends for like $20, dude. I'm not making any money on them, but I'm like, all right, cool. Let me kind of just test the waters on these and see, you know what I mean? Like if they're worth selling. I don't, like, as of right now, I still don't know if they're worth selling or not. But like, you have to spend the money on stuff like that to find out if it's gonna work or not. You have to,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
You can't be
You're
like,
never
maybe
going
I should
to.
make coasters. Maybe I should make coasters. You know what I mean? Like,
You're never
That's
gonna
why
get
we
into a
have
business.
printers and
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
like super guilty of buying stupid shit too. Like, I bought like these flasks, dude. These like coffin flasks. You know, I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I don't even drink, dude. I'm like over 10 years sober, dude. You know, I'm like, oh, maybe somebody will see this and be like, yo, that's dope. Let me buy one, dude. I have a feeling these are all going to sit on a shelf forever, dude. You know? But, I mean, I could have put
take
this
them
online.
to enough
Yeah.
events, they'll go.
What'd you say?
If you take them to enough events, they might sell.
Well, I don't do events, dude. I don't know if you can tell I'm not really a
Oh.
people person. You know, like,
No,
I had
not
to notice.
you.
It's for the best that Matt stays in his shed.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm all for it. I stay in the shed and I go and
Gotta-
do it. You know?
Like me, you got
Like-
you got a face for radio.
Yeah, I'm just
Right.
like, I don't know about my face, but I know that like I'm definitely an acquired taste as far as my personality goes. You know, like, and I'm okay with that, dude. I'm cool with that, man. You know,
Yep.
but I avoid events as much as possible. You know.
So I'll be honest with you, I don't care for events either, but like I'm constantly making stuff because I just love making stuff, and I fill my husband's construction trailer up until he says you have to get rid of it because I want my trailer back. And so that's why I do the events.
Yeah.
And honestly, like you're not going to find a better place to network, right? You're not going to find a place with that level of concentration of people who are going to see the best of your product out on display firsthand. So by all means,
I will actually be at
go
an event
for it.
this
Try.
I'll set up tomorrow evening for an event, and it'll be all weekend long. And then I have another one the following weekend. And I usually do all of my events in fall, and then I have a couple of spring shows. I like to do events right after tax season. That's my best advice to anybody.
That's a good one. Yeah. We got one in January. It's I don't know. It's supposed to have like 45,000 people at it, and that's the thing too, right? You'd think it would cost you an arm and a leg to go to something like that, but no, $400. And I get
I pay more than
space.
that for some of my little hometown gigs I do.
Mm-hmm. I paid
Yeah.
more than that at the Women's Expo that I did a couple weekends ago, and I did worse there than I did at one that cost less than half of that.
Yeah.
I usually have a cutoff when it comes to events. I don't do one-day events. I don't care for them. It's too much setup, too much takedown. Now, if you're just going to set up a table with product, that's one thing. But as far as full-on event,
Like,
I'm only
yeah, setting
doing.
up a booth and your tent and all that crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
Yeah,
I
that's
just don't
just
want to
not
do
worth
any
it.
of that, dude.
And I don't do if the booth fee is less than $50 for a 10x10, I'm not doing the event. That's typically because you're not going to have the advertisement. They're not going to push it. Now, if it's a church event or a nonprofit event for charity, those are different. But as far as just everyday general craft fairs that somebody threw together, I try to keep my limitations there.
Yeah.
And if anyone is ever thinking about doing stuff like this, track everything. Track every dollar that you spend for these things, because you need to sit there afterwards and do a cost analysis to understand what you made, the work that you put into it, the labor, the sheer amount of time. I'm not doing an event until January right now because it's just me, and I can't run multiple lasers and sell by myself. And even if I get a babysitter and I get my wife to go, that's still not enough. Like, I had 3 people working this booth, and it was still barely enough. So be prepared to bring some backup if that's what you want to do, or try to keep it as cheap as possible and sell what you can. If not, you can either go big or small, but there's really nowhere in between.
I literally just had that same conversation. Bob, he was in the chat earlier. He owns 10 Roof Relics, and he does a lot. He pretty much does full-time events. And he's by himself, and he was just telling me today, he's like, I'm either going to have to hire a helper or get a girlfriend that actually works or something. And I joked around with him. I said, well, hire a helper. They're probably cheaper.
Absolutely.
And but and because he's doing on-site engraving as well, and different things, and as one person, like you said, Nick, you just can't do it. Like, for me, I at least have my husband and at least 1 or 2 of my kids with me, my older kids, at all times.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to sell and work at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
And
No,
if
that's-
you
could you're really
More
giving it
of a
100%.
Just lugging the equipment around. I wanted these guys that were at this one event, geniuses. They had this like 30-foot long Airstream trailer, and it's called like the Airstream stage. The whole side opens up, and it becomes
like a
a stage
camper.
into steps, and it was a mobile barber shop. And these guys weren't even barbers. They were not hairdressers or anything. They just, their only thing is they have the trailer all set up, and then hairdressers from all over fly in, and they're the ones who come and they pay them to use the trailer at these events. It's genius.
At a shop.
Oh yeah, that's pretty brilliant.
But that's even brilliant. Like Jason's mobile shop, right? Imagine, Jason, if the whole side wall opened up, how beneficial that might be. And they make them. They're just ridiculously expensive. It's like a $50,000 trailer that this guy had. But, even other ones that are on a smaller scale are still really expensive.
All I picture in my head is the Barbie camper.
I can't see the
basically
being beneficial. For me,
well, it depends on how much interaction you want, I guess, with the customer. Because I found it a lot. I found a lot of people were really, really interested in watching like lasers run, and that's a huge draw. Now, did everybody buy something? No, but I handed out a lot of business cards, and I've been getting a lot of calls. And that's helpful. And that's why, like, and understand people too. You can only go so far. You can only spread yourself so thin. I've been battling it for weeks. I had to, at some point, stop because I had spread myself so thin, and I had to prioritize. Like, I'm trying to run a YouTube channel, trying to make content for all these things. But at the same time, I'm like, I kind of need a functioning business, and I also need to find channels to make money. that should probably take priority. So I had to slow down and focus on one thing at a time. It's better to be successful step by step than fail at everything all at once.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
sure.
and having an income will allow you to like do the YouTube, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
try,
you
like,
can't. I can't sit here engraving products all day that no one has purchased. Like that's just me spending money.
yeah,
And
I saw like a video of this dude, and like, you know what? He's a super pleasant dude, and I'm all for like people like chasing their dreams and shit. But like, he had like I have like more YouTube subs than that guy, and he had like 4,000 followers, and he was like at the hospital, and he was like doing a video from there, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm a content creator. I'm like, bro, you are not a content creator, dude. That's not paying your bills, and it's all good to like want to do that, but like that's not what you do for a living. That's not your definition of you, dude. You know, like
Yeah.
that's cool, man, like having a dream and all that, dude, but like you're not quite there yet. You have to have something to like, you have to have your base, right? To like where you can go hunting all the fucking time. You can fish all the time or whatever the fuck else you're doing. You want to play with Barbies all the time or make YouTube videos. That's cool. But you have to have that base, you know, whatever it may be. Could just be a day job, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you could, you know, there's a lot of people who laser. I mean, like I know Nikki, you have a full-time job, right?
I
Like,
absolutely do.
yeah. So like, you have to have that base to allow you to do these other things, you know, and maybe that turns into your full-time job later, you know. But
Well,
if you don't,
it's like I tell everybody, you definitely have to balance that stuff out. Like for me, because I work for the federal government and I'm basically almost 19 years vested now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only 40, so I can't retire until I'm like 67 and a half. So I'll have like 80 years in by the time I get to retire. But, I mean, it's not logical for me to quit my job.
Yeah.
It's just not. No, I could make
Yeah.
6 figures a year doing this.
Yeah.
But it's just not logical. That's like throwing 20 years of my life away.
Yeah, well, all the benefits you get and you're, you know, like and all that
Yes.
stuff, like that's all super important. You know what I mean? What for, like, I've been self-employed for the majority of my life, but like, my kind of like beneficial thing, like when I went like real serious about being full-time and like, you know, like 7 years ago was like, how much money am I spending every month? All right, well, what can I not spend money on? Like, I go out to eat like 4 or 5 times a week now, but like back then it was like, dude, I'm not eating out at all. You know what I mean? I like audited my spending and I'm like, all right, cool. I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now either. Oh, I like doing this. Well, maybe just hold off on it for a little bit and you have to audit your spending. A lot of people don't want to do that, you know? And like that right there might be the wall that keeps you from like your side hustle being your full-time job. Like leaving your job to do your side hustle, what you might enjoy more, may just take, hey man, we can't eat out anymore. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to make that sacrifice, you know, for whatever reason it may be. But like sometimes, you know, look at Andy Dufresne. I just watched Shawshank Redemption, dude, and that guy like crawled through that tube of shit, you know, like that sucked, you know, but like. You know, it wasn't forever though, you know, and a lot of like, I mean, the whole thing is like sacrifices, you know, people don't want to do it, you know, everybody. I was just talking to my girlfriend about this, and it's maybe you guys can because you guys all have laser businesses, right? Like, like so, you know, like the posts where like, people are like, I'm looking for an engraver, like just a blanket one on like a Stanley group, and then everybody chimes in. You know what I'm talking about? And everybody's like, my name's Dean Smith. I own Smith's Customs. It's like, bro, like, I'm just a guy in a shed. So are you, dude. You don't own shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, yo, just be real about it. Be like, yo, I'll laser your shit. Like, this is my company, but like, dude, like, don't make it seem like you own the giant business, dude. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're doing 6 figures, 7 figures a year, dude, it's such like a weird thing to like pretend, you know what I mean? Like that you're, I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I'm like, yo, all these people are like, yeah, I own this Customs. It's like, yeah, man, that's cool. You can put like your name in it and then put like a different, like an adjective behind it, dude. Like, it doesn't make you sound more professional than you are, dude. You know?
No.
Just be like, yo, I'm happy to do the work for you. This is my work. This is my
Exactly.
You
If
know?
anyone's ever looking for stuff, I'm always just like, I'm happy to help, and here's a video of some of the stuff that I've done.
Yeah. Post a picture of your cup.
Well, another thing is too is like, you know, this person's not going down this list of comments. You know, if they're looking
No,
for
they're gonna go
somebody-
through the first 2 or 3, and then that's if they haven't found one by then.
Comment on those. I don't even. I like kind of sit there and like kind of like.
I will direct message somebody.
Yeah, or if somebody recommends you, I kind of like that. You know, kind of going humble about it. I'm like, you know, if somebody recommends you, that's dope. You know, because you also selfishly get a little compliment too.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, all right, cool. But you could just be tight with that person too, man. Like, even if your work sucks, your friend's still gonna be like, yo, go to this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is, dude. You know. So
And
yeah,
you know, I tell people, but you know, when people look at things like that, like when you're doing a business and you're doing these things, like, and especially if you're just starting out and your end goal is to do this full time, like, you can't look at all the social media influencers and be like, you know, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Because if you follow in everybody else's shadow, that's where you're going to stay. And I've said that from day one, and I will say it again. I don't.
Nice.
I try not to hop on these trains of, you know,
Nice.
everybody's doing the same thing. And I think that, you know, yeah, sure, make product that, you know, other people are buying, other people are selling as well, but also make sure you have something that stands out.
Yeah.
And don't judge yourself based on, I don't have 17 lasers at a big warehouse.
Yeah, dude.
I have 17 lasers in a small garage.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
mean,
I have
Matt and I
6
are in
lasers
sheds.
I have 6 lasers in a 12x16 shed, dude. You know,
Oh,
like,
yours is a little bigger than mine. Mine's only 10 by 16, and I have 14 lasers in here.
oh my god.
Peasants.
Yeah. You know. But like, you know, like you don't need I mean, like I love it. I don't have any I don't have to pay rent anywhere. Could I move to a spot where like I had a warehouse? Absolutely. Would I have more higher expenses? Absolutely. Do I want to do that? No. I don't want to do that. You know, until it starts bottlenecking my business, dude, I'm going to stay right here, you know.
I think Jason and I was having this conversation before. I'm actually fixing to purchase a larger, it's not a shed. I'm not going to do the metal building again. It's going to be one of those like tiny homes almost.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that and have it put right in beside my house and do the layout inside and give me a little bit more space so I can make room for that CO2 Galvo I'm going to drive to Nick and get.
Yeah, they're huge. You need extra space for that, dude.
Well, if I built it, it's huge.
Yeah,
You guys want to know the funniest thing about this?
Light thingies.
This isn't even my cat.
It's sick, dude.
This
Sick.
is the neighbor's cat.
Get the fuck
He-
out of here.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
He came over to my house and then just came in, and then we found out he lives 2 doors down, and now he just comes and goes throughout like literally all day, every day. He'll leave here, go back to his house, and then come back here and go through the dog door, and he just chills with me while I'm working.
Look at that little doggy.
What if he just got you right now, dude? What if he just got you? dude?
The cat don't even care.
Yeah.
His name's Simba, and he's super nice.
Yeah, that's chill, dude.
Yeah, he's a chill cat. I'm allergic to cats too.
What if
so
I
it's
just
great.
like yelled my llama in here, dude, and was like, yo, what up?
I have a
You're
ball
a llama?
python.
I have a llama, yeah.
Can you fit him in there?
Yeah, probably. I mean, like that's
Yeah.
all I'd be getting in here. Other, you know, like yeah.
If I knock this wall out, it'll be great.
No, I could.
Wait,
totally
is the llama just a pet or is it
yeah,
like
he's a half
useful?
size llama. He's a half size llama. He's an Argentine llama, so he's only like 5'8", 5'9". You know, he's short. He's a little guy.
So are they
So
useful?
why do you
for
have
anything?
him?
What are they used for? Or
Because
is
he's
it just
chill,
a pet?
dude. We just have him, dude. We just have him. You know?
This
Sounds like
guy's
we're mouse-
calling everyone he can a nerd, and then he's sitting over
got a
there on a
llama.
farm But he's surrounded by lasers all the time. Ow.
Still got my original Pokemon cards.
Yeah, right.
Nerd.
Yeah, that was after my time.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time I forget how old you are, Jason. Like,
Have you
good
said
lord.
Lay off the
Transform-
oldest, 'cause-
If you said Transformers or something like that, yeah, or Garbage Pail
yeah, I'm
Kids.
with you.
Dude,
Bro.
Garbage Pail Kids, classic, dude.
I did all
Alf
that stuff.
Yeah, right.
How
Like,
many of y'all actually watched that show, Alf?
I watched it when I was young, but we were poor, so you know. That's what we had, recycled videos.
I asked this bartender the other day, like we were like having dinner and we were sitting at the bar and like we were talking about like tragedies, like the where were you moments, you know? And I asked this girl, I'm like, were you born after 9/11? And she's like, oh no, I was alive for 9/11. And I was like, oh yeah, how old were you? And she goes, oh, I was 9 months old. I'm like, that barely counts.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
that don't even count.
Yeah, I'm
Lord.
like, that's what my girlfriend said. My girlfriend was like, yo, that does not count, dude. Like,
this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna make this whole room go quiet. I was 10 years old.
you were
When?
10
You're
years
all-
old at 11?
Yeah, y'all are old as hell.
No, I
all of
was born
you.
in 91, dude. I was born in 91, man.
Oh, we're the same
my
age?
God.
God.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know
Jason,
that.
wow.
I thought you were way older.
What do you think I was,
I
like,
don't
40,
know,
dude?
late 30s.
Damn,
You guys are
dude.
At least.
babies.
They are babies,
Damn,
aren't
man.
they?
Good Lord.
How old are you, Jason?
I'll be 46.
Wait. When you have to do the math, that's a problem.
Well, I'm just trying to see how many days are in October.
31.
So in 15 days.
Okay, so Jason's older than me. I'm 40. So
Yeah.
I was born in 84. Y'all talking like 91, and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, I was born in
Girl acting like a 7-year difference is like, oh my god,
It is,
I'm working with children.
right?
When you get up near your 40s, 7 years is
It's a huge
a big
difference.
deal.
Well, yeah, because in 7 more years, you might be dead. You never know.
Right? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I never would have thought in my 40s I would be doing what I'm doing
And-
right now. I assure you.
Jason was in the Navy, so his body's like at least 10 years older than he actually is.
No. I'd say 20, but
Right?
Oh yeah, because you retired. That's right. So you're like 87 in military years.
Dang.
I've had about every joint in my body worked on over
It,
that stuff.
it absolutely true facts. Every year in the military is like an additional 6 years wear and tear on your body. It's insane.
Oh, believe me, I know too.
Yeah. It's like dog years.
Mhm.
Yeah, if I shave my beard, dude, I look like I'm like 17 years old, but I can't do it because it'll make me feel uncomfortable.
It would make all of us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I've had a beard since I was like 13 years old, dude, and it's not going anywhere, dude. You know,
Oh my gosh.
it's weird.
He's like, I was 13, I had my first Bush Light, and then bam, I had a beard.
No, PBR.
Dude, my first
I
beard was
do.
like some Canadian shit. I think it was like Olsen's or something.
I do miss me some PBR. I used to, beer pong in high school, PBR, that's all you need. That's all we could get.
PBR was dope.
Yeah, I never did any of that. Like my parents, like it took 4 years in a jury trial for my parents to get divorced, and my dad had me emancipated when I was 16, so he didn't have to pay child support. And I got married at 16, and I was married to my first husband for 14 years, and divorced at 30, and then remarried, and here I am. So
That sounds like a wonderful childhood you had there.
You know, and
Yeah, no
so
trauma there. No trauma there.
Yeah.
it was definitely crazy. I was forced to grow up a lot faster, and you know, and I my husband gets on to me now because I compare my childhood to my children's, and I want them to be able to experience things that I didn't get to experience. And it means a lot to me because I missed out on those things. I was forced to grow up a lot more faster, and I actually paid for myself to go to a homeschool to graduate. I worked at the Waffle House for several
Good for
years.
you.
House.
Are you like, and my wife is likely watching right now, so I'll try not to say too much because she'll kill me. But are you like my wife, where she'll tell me a story and it's like the craziest childhood trauma that I've ever heard, and she's laughing, and my jaw is like on the floor, and she's like, "What? You didn't experience that?" I'm like,
It was
"No."
normal.
Because that's
I mean,
called abuse.
Looking back on it now, like I'm like, holy crap! Like I would never do that to my children, but when I was growing up, it was normal for me.
This
It
is also a
wasn't.
different time period too.
It is. It absolutely
Yeah.
is. Where the world is so much more sensitive now than it ever has been.
Yeah.
I mean, 1987, we just came out of the Great Depression. You know, World War II had just ended. The 7-year gap, a lot happened.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough, man.
Uh,
All right. Unfortunately, guys, I gotta skedaddle because I got kids to put to bed.
Yeah, I
But,
gotta
Yeah,
get
we
my
both-
clock, dude. So
I'm glad somebody else spoke up because I was trying to figure out where to work. it
Yeah,
in.
trying to find a stopping point, and I'm
yo,
just
we're
like,
done.
Anyways,
yeah,
we're
pretty
done.
much.
We're done. Shut it down.
that's
Everyone,
enough about
shut the
us
fuck
tonight.
up and click. That's it. That's all you need.
On another note, you guys go check out the Talon Pro because that's what this was all about, and it's beautiful. And tomorrow I'm going to post some videos of it in work.
I can't wait to get 4 of them.
4 of them.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, do you think I want to be swapping rotaries
only
off machines?
3.
Hell no.
He only needs
Hell
3 unless
no.
the one I'm picking up comes with one.
Hey, I will trade you 2 Pyburn grips for one of your Talon Pros.
I'm gonna make a Facebook group, dude, for like all the people who like need to dump their Pyburn so they can buy Talons. You know, we'll call it like clearance Pyburn or something like that, dude. That's actually not a bad idea, dude.
That is actually not a terrible. We need to figure out something because
That's all.
everyone's gonna be uploading them.
You
I don't
should
want
do
nothing
like
to do
an
with that.
exchange program over there, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so funny.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We
you
did
think
that.
that picture? You think that picture I posted with the little rubber feet things caused the shitstorm? Imagine if Roto Boss was like, "Yo, exchange your Pyburn for a Talon Pro." Watch the fucking shitstorm that ensued, dude.
But just be like, yeah, but it's only $100 off the Talon Pro because we don't need that garbage. Oh man.
I don't know.
All right,
like,
yeah.
I'm out.
All right.
we'll talk to
Everybody
you
have
guys
a,
later.
everybody, thanks for stopping and watching this for 2.5 hours. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you the next time. Take care.
See you guys.
See ya.